In New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you are with me this afternoon. You can call in if you want to and chat with me. 585-346-3000. That is the number. Recently, if you are a New Yorker, as I am, there's a lot of talk about the New York budget. Man, have I heard that a lot recently. And it made me think about something. Family budgets. How do you get yourself out of a bad spot? How do you fix when you're in trouble? What do you do? What actions do you take? How do you act? I remember as a kid in the Bronx in the early 70s, South Bronx by Yankee Stadium where I grew up, with me and my mom and my dad. My dad was not the most frugal of men. I'll just say that. He was the kind of guy who would be coming home with his paycheck and would stop by the record store. Yes, there used to be record stores. Stop by the record store and say, "Ooh, some cool records." Buy the records that he liked. This is the era of, 70s R&B and disco. And he'd buy some records, maybe Earth, Wind, and Fire or something like that. Commodores. You guys remember those groups, right? And then come home, and my mom would say, "Hey, did you pay the rent?" And he'd say, "Well, I came home and I bought some records. And then after I bought the records, I didn't have the money for the rent, so I didn't bother paying the rent." I'm not joking. That's what he would say to her. Obviously, she wanted to flip out, go crazy. They fought about it. But they did love each other. But they fought about it. Well, you think that's bad? It's worse. Back in the 70s, my father wanted to have a cool car. So we bought a cool car. If you remember, for those of you who were around in the 70s, my father bought a white Lincoln Continental Mark IV with thick white wall tires. I still remember the car. Coolest car in the neighborhood, without question. Coolest car. We never drove it. I didn't know why. Why aren't we driving it? I found out. Yeah, we got a cool car. Got no money to put gas in it. So it's basically a really nice trophy out front. That's great, I guess. But that's the kind of family I began to grow up in. Sadly, at one point, or maybe good at one point, my mother got tired of it. And it was really coming to a head. Things were changing. They had to change. And finally, after some serious soul searching, some serious fighting, and threats back and forth from each other, they agreed to change. And to be forward, my father agreed to change. It really wasn't my mother. It was really my father who agreed to change. And when he finally agreed to change, they actually put together an actual plan together to fix things, to get better. And the funny thing is, it's similar to what I said last year when I was running for governor. I talked about 3 things that will keep New Yorkers happy and keep them here: affordability, opportunity, and safety. And Kathy Hochul, our governor, first of her name, our empress, she literally used the same phrases: opportunity, affordability, safety. Yes, these were all things my family was concerned about back there in the early 70s. Living in South Bronx wasn't the safest neighborhood. We wanted to be able to afford some place outside the Bronx, and we had to have some opportunities. Now, luckily for us, my mom and my dad both could work in the city. They could work in Manhattan. Even if they went someplace else, you get there, and that was the opportunity. The question was affordability. So what do we do? My mother and father thought, okay, let's make some more money, number one. So let's generate more income. Makes sense. And 2, let's cut back. 2 things. Cut back. My father used to take me out to eat because he loved taking me out to eat twice a day twice on weekends. Every Saturday and Sunday, we go out to breakfast together. I loved it. I was 7, 8, 9 years old, hanging out with my pop in the morning. Great. Loved it. That went away. And okay, I didn't like it, but fine. Got to cut back. We sold the cool Lincoln Continental, and we got, it's the 70s. What do you think? Yes, a station wagon with the wood paneling on the side, the whole deal. Yep, we got that instead. We got a station wagon. But the station wagon wasn't just a cheaper car. It was cheaper, but it was also practical, because now what we're going to do, we're going to work harder. We're going to do what we do best. My mom and my dad were smart on that. My father loved music, loved it. So what did he do? He became a part-time DJ on the weekends, many clubs, and made a killing. And what was good about the station wagon? All the equipment goes in the back of the station wagon. My mom had been cleaning her whole life. She'd been cleaning up on farmland when she was a teenager, our home. She had worked in restaurants when she first came here as an immigrant, cleaning up the back and the front. She's like, I'm going to clean what's the most expensive? Office buildings. Well, how can she go clean office buildings and my father DJ when I'm around? I'm a kid. She took me. So I went, I still remember, I went to offices on the weekends at night with my mom, and we were cleaning windows and cleaning desks off and dusting stuff and cleaning blinds. We were doing that. And we worked hard. And I was a kid. I was 8, 9. We were out there making money, cutting back to set up a better life for us. We thought, we're in trouble. Things aren't good. Thanks to my father, we had thrown a lot of money away. We had made a lot of bad investments, if you want to call them investments. So we had to tighten our belts and do two things: figure out how to cut back a bit and how to make more money with things that we were already good at. My mom, it was cleaning. My father was music, and they both made money. Enough for us to actually get out of the Bronx and move out to Long Island and buy a house. That actually happened in my lifetime. I was a teenager, right, when that happened. I was a teenager. But I saw it happen. From a little kid to a teenager, I watched my family change, and I watched us grow and basically achieve what people think of as the American dream type thing, right? My level of that. I saw my family do that. And now I think to myself, how in the world can New York do that? Can New York do that? And so, of course, we can, right? Because that's what's going to happen, right? Because Kathy Hochul is going to have a new budget and fix everything. Of course she is, because Her Majesty loves us and cares about us, and she will take care of her subjects well. No, she won't. She will talk about affordability, opportunity, safety. She'll talk about these things. But then all she will do is throw money at her friends, which is what she does well. It's on brand. I will give her that. She's been doing it for years, and she keeps doing it. So I guess I shouldn't be shocked. But I would ask you, if you paid attention to her budget or paid attention to what she says, where is the part where we cut back? Where is the part to where we figure out new ways of raising money? Where is the part to where we encourage the people here, the people who are in New York, to grow themselves, to do the part-time work or the extra work or to grow the business or the company or whatever? Where is that? It's not there. Where is the part where we focus on what we do well? And what does New York do well? My family, music and cleaning, and we did both of those businesses. That's awesome. New York does 3 things well, or at least used to. I hope it still does. Farming, finance, and innovation. That's what New York State, in the past at least, has done well. Farming, finance, innovation. If we are able to push those 3 things in New York State, we win. Finance is downstate, farming is upstate, innovation is the entire state. Think of all the new things and ideas that have happened in the state, new companies that were built in the state in the past, hardly ever now, but in the past. Think of how amazing our farming has been in the past, how amazing our finance has been in the past. This is what we're good at, the infrastructure that we have built over the course of literally centuries. And I'll say it again so it lands. Infrastructure that this state has built over the last centuries, literally 300 years, we've been building this infrastructure. For our government to throw away, just beg for more money. We have people in this state who have been on farmland for 6 or 7 generations. We have people in this state who've been in finance for 6 or 7 generations. And we have made so much new things. We made Mormonism. That is how innovative we are. We made Mormonism here in this state. Some of you didn't know that. That's true. All of that is our rich history that our governor now is throwing away. Everything I've been talking about for us to repair these last couple years wasn't because I was making it up. It's because I know this state. I know what we're doing. I know what we're good at. I understand how this works. This is repairable. Not with this budget. Am I wrong? Do you like my South Bronx stories I keep telling you? Tell me, 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your internet chat after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind.
Yeah, I recall either last year or this year would be the last year of the Hill Cumorah.
Achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in
You know, the Hill Cumorah Fest, of course, I believe this year or last year was to be the last season of it.
At SimpleTech Innovations, a call today for a consultation at 585.
I'll have to Google that to confirm, but I recall hearing that at one point.
3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Inside.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been through Palmyra because you know the state far better than our governor.
Under the microscope.
Ugh, what's that?
A sample of indoor air.
Yeah, but the Hill Cumorah Fest is a big boost to the economy for Palmyra and Shortsville, Manchester, Maston, that whole area.
Mold, bacteria, and viruses are removed.
For clean indoor air.
Yep. Ain't science awesome?
Taylor, 500 help.
I know Donny Osmond has appeared in it several times over the years.
Using social to control and mislead, it's important to preserve freedom of speech and to promote a truth-based society for our families. Try something different in 2023. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Take advantage of a huge audience, entertained and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
We have Lorraine on the line.
Hey, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you are with me this afternoon. 585-346-3000 is the number to call. And before the break, I was talking about individual families changing their budgets, fixing their lives to move forward, to be better, and then trying to see, how is our state doing that? Is it? Our governor's been saying it. Is she doing it? I don't know. Take a call if I could. I'm going to grab if I could. Lorraine, how are you, Lorraine?
I'm good, but there's something. I have a terrible phone, and it's a little for you. I'm calling because you were mentioning New York State Farm advantages that we have.
Yeah.
Hello. And I don't know if this will fit in with what you want to talk about right now, but Michigan is scaring the heck out of me, what they've done with the eminent domain.
Yes.
I expect you've talked about that before, but is there any way that the fact that it's unconstitutional can help people right away?
This is a great question, Lorraine, and I have spoken many times about eminent domain, and it is literally theft. It should be against the law. You are right, it's unconstitutional, and sadly, most people don't care. We have to spend more time showing the actual damage that it's done, not the fact that it's unconstitutional. And you constitutional people are mad at me right now because you're like, it's unconstitutional. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Lorraine, you are correct. I'm saying the average person doesn't care. What they have to care about is what you just said, how individual farmers are affected, how families are destroyed. That's the piece we have to focus on. And if we do that, we have a chance of people actually turning against the government officials who are making this happen.
May I suggest Cheryl Atkinson does great reports on stuff just like that.
Oh, I love it. Okay, great. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate the call. So, she brings up a valid point. And I'm going to bring this up literally with cannabis. And some people say, well, this cannabis thing in New York is awesome because now we're going to be, raising a bunch of taxes from cannabis. And I get how someone would think that, right? That does seem to make logical sense. It does. It's just not true. But it does seem to make sense. Like, I'm not mad if you believe that or people say that. Seems to make sense. Well, legalize it and tax it. Seems to make sense. But it's not how it's working. Right to Lorraine's point, it's actually going to make more eminent domain. Wait a minute, Larry. How's cannabis going to make more eminent domain? Because we have what's called an Office of Cannabis Management. And that office is a bunch of cronies, a bunch of buddies of Kathy Hochul and her crew. And they're going to decide what the rules and regulations on cannabis is. Because you know what cannabis needs? Rules and regulations. Because it's been killing so many people. No, it isn't. But we're going to do that. And when we do that, we'll make rules. And to Lorraine's point, we'll make rules like the farm has to be X by Y feet, acres, big or small. It has to have this amount of water or that amount of water. Like farmers don't know how to grow stuff. The government will come in and say so. If it won't work right, the government will say, well, for equity, they'll say that because they always say it's for equity or equality. They will say that for equity or equality, we have to take this farmer away so some other farmer can have it. And you go, wait a minute, so another farmer's winning. No, it's some face, I'm not joking, some face of a very large real estate company that'll be buying up massive farms with someone else's face on it, and they'll take away the farm of a small family. That will happen. Lorraine is correct. And if we just say, well, it's for equity, most New Yorkers go, okay, I guess that's good. Equity sounds good. And they turn away and someone's family is destroyed. If you go, it's unconstitutional, people go, no, it's not. It's, it's for the good of all. And they turn away. But if you show that family, it's destroying this family, people will begin to care. And to be told, we are not good at that. We scream unconstitutional, we scream wrong, but we don't show the story. The story matters. That's what matters. We push that. Why do you think I start almost every one of these shows with a story? It's what I do. The story matters. You don't care if you don't hear the story. I can yell what's unconstitutional all day long and you'll, yeah. Everybody's yelling that stuff, Larry, you and your unconstitutional stuff. But now I give you a family. Now I give you a story. Now I have you look at it and go, man, I did that too. Wow, I was in there too. I know somebody like that. Now you start to care. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I'm trying to show that caring does matter. It absolutely does matter. The individual family, the individual story does matter. If we tell those stories, they'll start caring. Lorraine is correct. Eminent domain is evil. It is theft. And I've been against it. 2018, for those of you who know, I was the only one running for office in 2018 who was trying to stop the hospital in downtown Utica. I was the one going there. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't just me. There was an entire group of people who are fighting. They fought harder than I fought. I'm going to be very clear. They Those people in No Hospital Downtown fought harder than me. I'm just saying I was the only one supporting them. I was the only one showing up. I was the only one doing events there, doing videos there, talking about it on in the local press. That was me. No other politician who was running was doing that. I am against eminent domain. It is evil. It is unconstitutional. It is wrong. Because one thing, it punishes the little guy. In the case of Utica, there were 40 small businesses that were destroyed. Most of them are not coming back. I'm not making this up. Check it out yourself. No Hospital Downtown. That literally happened. It is a problem. Anyway, I've yapped away on that one. Thank you, Lorraine, for that call. I do appreciate it. But I want to walk down parts of the governor's budget. There's a couple pieces here. She focuses heavily on several things off the bat. And you can imagine what those things are. She says, this is her quote. I'm going to see if I can quote her effectively. This is her quote. I promised New Yorkers we'd make our state more affordable, more livable, and safer. And this budget delivers on that promise. She took out opportunity. She said opportunity twice. She pulled it out. Why did she pull opportunity out? Because there are none. I'm not joking. She pulled out opportunity. She did say it twice. Do your homework. She said it. I know because it's my talking points that she stole. Again, not making this up. Fact. She stole my talking points, said them, and then realized, oh, wait, I don't have the opportunity part. That's that Larry Sharpe stuff. That's libertarians trying to give people opportunities. That's not me. I'm the queen. I don't care about my people having an opportunity. I just care about them sitting here and being punished and paying my taxes. So I'm going to pull that out. And she did. And she did. So what has she been talking about? She's talking about putting money into things. That's what she's talking about. She's going to make your life better by putting millions of dollars into a system that's already broken. She put millions of dollars into a healthcare system that's already broken. And she's going to focus heavily on reproductive health. I want to be clear. I'm not saying reproductive health is not important. It absolutely is. And a woman and her body are critical. She should be able to do what she has to do with her body, be safe. I get all that stuff, 100% on board. But is anyone in this state concerned that we're always going to lose? This is always going to become a pro-life state? Does anyone believe that? I hope you don't. It's clear it's not. It is clearly a pro-choice state. In fact, she's putting money in, just so you understand, she's putting money in so people can come to New York and the state can pay for them to have abortions. I'm, again, not joking. That's in the budget. So as she's going to make your life safer, your life more affordable, give you more opportunities by taking your taxpayer dollars and having it available for people from other states to come here and have abortions, and you pay for them. And we're worried about reproductive rights. If you're pro-choice, you're good. If you're pro-life, surrender. Not in this state. Done deal. Move on. Pick something else. The only person who talked about reducing abortions in the last 6 years in New York State is the guy you're listening to right now. No one else is. So you can just surrender on that one already. So that's part of our budget. Focusing on that. Giving $40 million to different aspects of the state. And again, these are all government agencies. I will ask you, where's the part where New Yorkers begin to grow on their own? Where's the part where New York businesses begin to grow? Where's that part? There is no part. She says more affordable because you're going to write more checks. Where's that money going to come from? I want you to realize something. For those of you in New York who care, maybe you don't care. Who cares? I don't live in New York. Here's why you should matter. It should matter to you. Texas has more people than we have. Florida has more people than we have. We have a bigger budget by over $100 billion than both of them. Yes, our budget is $100 billion higher than two states that have more people than we do. $100 billion more. Yeah. We need some change, people. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Give me a buzz if you think I'm right. Give me a buzz if you think I'm wrong. Or if you're talking about what Lorraine talked about, I am all in. Absolutely. I will be back with your calls. And the chat is exploding. I will come back and I will answer your question in the chat. All of this after the break.
Truth and freedom.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.
Yeah, I confirmed. Hill Cumorah ended after like 80 or 82 years.
Tonight, we'll see a little bit of light rain.
Yeah.
And maybe a few wet snowflakes in the hills.
No, that's in that's in Wayne County. Yeah, it's on Route 21 between Manchester and Palmyra is where the Hill Cumorah is.
Near 50.
And
on Friday, it looks real nice heading into the weekend.
Yeah, but it is in Wayne County, and of course Palmyra is where Joseph Smith had his farm, and there's a lot of history of still right around that area, which I'm sure probably there'll still always be some tourism, but yeah, I was trying to Google why they stopped it, and it's kind of unclear. It just sounds like they just decided, okay, we don't need to do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the cost of doing things in New York had something to do with it.
With its clients, whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest.
But boy, that difference in the taxes, considering lower population, if that doesn't convince people, I don't know what will.
A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182.
Well, for whatever it's worth, I understand why DeSantis is doing what he's doing with Disney, but on the flip side, Walt Disney brought a lot of tourism to that state. He kind of helped put Florida on the map, which I can understand. And here's the thing with Disney. Wanting to take away the Reedy Creek Improvement District, I think Disney does a lot of things better than government does. Granted,
requiring protection because
exactly. So I'm on. I must admit, I own a Disney timeshare. I still own stock in Disney. I don't believe in a lot of their wokeness, but all that aside, I look back to what Walt did and. It's just to have government take away what helped that area grow. I'm kind of like, I can't help but think DeSantis is just gonna shoot himself in the foot.
Both the stock and bond markets have had quite a nice run since the 2008-2009 market crash. We sure don't want.
I can't help but think Donald Trump is sitting on the sideline just smiling at that.
Independent investment and wealth management firm located in Pittsburgh, New York. Our clients are successful individuals, retirees, and business owners who don't want to lose what they've worked so hard to save. If you have at least $250,000 in savings and investments, I'd like a few minutes of your time to show you what we're doing differently at Hamilton Wealth Management.
Good case in point. The difference between how government does and the private sector. Look at those new rest stops compared to maybe a truck stop like a Pilot.
Advisory services offered through Wealth Plan Partners. Securities offered through Securities America Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Hamilton Wealth Management and Securities America companies are separate entities.
WYSL.
Looking for rewarding work with a growing local company? Apply at C-Rec Disposal.
By the way, I'm sorry if I'm inundating stuff, but one thing I've noticed since I bought the home in the Poconos, Pennsylvania allows for either video lottery terminals, or I don't know if they're purely slot machines or not, but I've seen them not only in bars, but I've seen them at convenience stores. And we're talking slot machines or video lottery.
585-720-0978. 585-720-0978. SEYREK disposal.com. All Seasons Wine and Spirits. Why go to the big liquor superstores in Rochester when you can save and park right next to the front door at All Seasons? They'll carry your discount case purchases to your car with a smile. Voted best in Livingston County. All Seasons Wine and Spirits, 255 Main Street in Avon.
At Ralph Honda, we know car buying has changed, and so have we. Visit ralphhonda.com to value your trade, get instant credit approval, schedule service, even build and customize your next car. It's a whole new way of doing business, online and at Westridge Road. Ralph Honda.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe back here on WYSL Rochester, New York. Sharpe Way Radio. 585-346-3000 is the number. I do want to take some of the chat. People have been popping in here or there. I want to answer some questions. If you're watching this, you can listen to this obviously on WYSL, also on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to watch those, also feel free. Happy to have you here. All right, let me grab a couple of these if I could. Sam says, good ideas don't require force, and products and services that people want don't require subsidies or bailouts. So simple, Sam, and so true. Yes, every time we start doing force or using bailouts or subsidies, we are trying to push people into things they would normally go to. You are correct. Let farmers farm. Yes, absolutely. Stephen says, Hochul is killing farmers. This is literally true. And I don't mean this, again, no hyperbole. The way New York State, and to be fair to our current ruler, our previous king was doing it too. This is what New York monarchs do.
Craig.
They kill the peasantry, right? They kill the farmers. So he's correct. There's an epidemic across the country, but in New York State, to where farmers are committing suicide. They are literally deciding the best answer is just check out. And they have plans. They do things like they look in their life insurance. And this is going to sound morbid, but Stephen is correct. People will look into their life insurance and say, okay, when does the rider wear out on when if I kill myself or not? Oh, I got to wait 3 years or 5 years before to pay out? Yeah. Should I get divorced or not? To see if my family will take my bills or not when I die. They ask these questions to figure things out. And they go, okay, so I've got to divorce her for 3 years and have a trust for 2 years and then wait for a year and a half before my life insurance pays off. They do all the things. Then they put a shotgun in their mouth and pull the trigger. When they've done that, okay, now because of the legal issues, their family is actually set now because the debt is not theirs. They get the life insurance. So the best way they can prepare for their family and deal with their family and support their family is to put a shotgun in their mouth and pull the trigger. That's New York State. Please, if you would, think about that. There are people who are planning for literally months or years and recognizing that the best way they can support their family is by jumping through legal hoops and putting a shotgun in their mouth and pulling the trigger.
Craig Clinton.
That is where we are. Thank you for that, Stephen. I appreciate that. I'm going to grab a call if I could. I'm going to grab Craig from Clinton. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
All righty. Craig, you're a farmer? Am I wrong here?
I am. No, I am a farmer. None of my family, thankfully, is having suicidal ideations. So yes. That's good. Good. But we do like to complain about our queen. We all absolutely despise her. She's horrible. And it's plain to see. And it makes my blood boil. And it makes me wonder, it's kind of why I was calling. I know how people like I and you and people that would be more conservative or for smaller, I know how we feel about Kathy. Does anyone like this budget? Like, are Democrats saying, yeah, this is great. We want poor people to not be able to have gas and freeze to death in the winter. Like, are they proud of this? Or is it just like, yeah, we really don't care one way or the other?
There was an interview recently, which is kind of going around the internet, when someone found an actual Biden supporter. And the interviewer asked, so, okay, great, you like Biden? And it's a woman, and she's like, yes, like Biden, he's great. And she goes, great. The interviewer says, great, please, can you tell me why? And she sat there and couldn't answer for a couple of seconds. And the interviewer's like, no, just tell me one thing is why you like Biden. I'm glad you like Biden. Tell me one reason. And then she literally comes clean and says, because he's not Trump. I'm not joking.
Yep.
That actually happened. That's a real thing. Now you might laugh, and I will say, that's true. That person was being real. I love that because it was honest. I may not like that she said it, but I may not like what she said, but I am happy she said it because she was absolutely honest. And if we get that, we can now act. You got to know where you are before you know how to get to where you want to go. This is where we are. So to your point, Craig, do Democrats in this state, and I know lots of Democrats. I live in New York City. I know lots of Democrats. Do Democrats like Biden? No. Do Democrats like Hochul? No. She's just not a Republican. That's your answer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard that same interview.
Another
and
call
it
on
wasn't
hold.
Just a couple seconds. It was a pregnant pause. It was going on like 5-6 seconds. She really wanted, and I'm like, you voted for this guy. Like, tell me one thing you like.
Because he's not Trump. That's the reason.
But she had to, because she didn't want to admit it, right? She didn't want to admit that was the only reason. And then she had to. So you say that's a good thing. I say, well, they've accepted that. Look at every garbage thing that Joe Biden has done. Look at every garbage thing every Democrat has done in the past 30 years. Well, they're not a Republican. Well, at least I can still get abortion. Like, how they're fine with it. They're saying, I don't care. These people can be as horrible as they are. As long as they're not the other team, I don't care. I'm going to vote for them. So how do you break them of that?
This is what I do every single week here, Greg. I go out of my way to try to show people this and to show them one thing. They have another option.
Yeah.
They have. People always say, Larry, why don't you just run as a Republican? Why don't you just run as a Democrat? You can win in New York City if you run as a Democrat. Democrats win everything. You're right. I could change my party affiliation, run as a Democrat here in New York City. I'd probably win something. I could run across the state as a Republican. I have a better chance of winning something. Yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't change anything. I have to get people to believe, Republicans and Democrats, that there is an actual another answer besides he's not a Democrat or he's not a Republican. Yes, it's hard. And I do it every damn week. And I'm still doing it, brother. I don't want to quit because we have to make this happen. And if it's not me, then maybe it's you. I don't know who it is, but it's got to be somebody.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's why they're fighting third parties so bad. That's why we don't want to have a presidential primary for Joe Biden. That's why we only get two choices, because they do realize that if there was a third choice, if there was a fifth choice, people would take that. So I do hope more people take that. I heard that Robert F. Kennedy is at like 20% among Democrats. So
look, all I'm saying is I want to make sure that more people have more choices. If you have more choices, you don't go to well, he's not Trump. Well, he's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. You go to, okay, what's the right person for me? Right? If you actually like Biden, I mean, I'm sure people do. They exist, I'm sure. But at least have a reason. Be able to explain why. I like the fact that I don't know why. I like the fact that he dawdles around. I think that's attractive. Whatever. I don't care what your reason is. But
you
fine,
sound like that you sound like that lady, Larry. You can't find a reason to like Uncle Joe.
I don't, which is why I'm not voting for him. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I'm not going to I'm voting for Biden because he's not Trump. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, they're not wrong. Biden is not Trump. That's an accurate statement. It's just not a reason to vote for him.
It's just not a good reason. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can give people better reasons.
There we go. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for the call.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I mean, this is a big issue that we have.
Roger.
It's a problem that you see everywhere. So I'm going to grab another call if I can. I'm not sure who I'm speaking to today. Who's this on the phone?
Roger.
Roger, is that you?
Yes, it is. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
Just about your whole show today because I was on a Zoom call with Senator Sanders Jr.'s office where they were Senator Sanders Jr. is the Senate chair of the public bank. The Senate Banking Committee, right?
Yeah.
And he's the chair of and he has the public banking bills, one for the state and one to allow municipalities or whatever the case is.
Yep.
I want to see if I could Andy Morrison from the New Economy Project was on that call. He's part of Public Bank NYC. I'm going to see if I could get him like on one of your shows or something like that. If that's okay.
I love it.
Or whatever. Now to address
look,
what
you
the last
bring up a valid point here, Roger. If we're going to have a budget and the budget's going to throw money at stuff, why wouldn't we throw money at something that could actually invest in local communities? If I'm going to throw money at a problem, I'd rather throw money at a problem that's an investment. I'd rather throw money into a public bank or into a plan that would support or maybe even insure, right? Credit unions locally or something like that. At least that would then encourage local people to keep growing, to keep that local gas station going, to keep that local deli going, to keep that local construction company going, right? If I'm going to throw money at something, why not this?
Yeah, exactly. And to address what the last person was saying, he was saying these people can't like Biden or Kathy Hochul or whatever. So let me just say this. True leftists are not Democrats. Okay?
That's true.
True leftists hate the Democrat Party. We don't like Biden. You know this, but I know that, you know, some of the people, you know, like the person who just called probably don't know it. We don't like Kathy. We don't like Biden. We're not happy with the last few Democrat presidents that we had, all that stuff. So it's just that our side really never gets heard because people think that AOC represents us.
I try my best, Roger. I have you on. I talk to people on my show. I have the left on my show. You know I do. I think we lost Roger. Roger, thank you so much for that call. I appreciate it. But he's got a valid point. Most people who are actually left-leaning don't like Democrats either. But they just go, well, not Republicans, or worse, they don't vote at all. And they just check out. Even worse. What do you think? Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Your business relies.
No, I pounded the caller down because I was playing the music and I didn't want him to keep talking.
And servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I when the music's playing, I don't want the music to run out, which almost happened at the bottom of the hour.
And monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Don't hate your home. Pick up the phone and call Wise Home Energy. The Energy Star Contractor of the Year, Wise Home Energy would like to thank our clients and employees for this prestigious award. For the 6th year in a row, thank you for choosing Wise Home Energy for solving your ice issues, improving hot and cold rooms, and reducing high energy bills. So don't hate your home. Pick up the phone and call Wise Home Energy at 585-270-5836 today.
With incompetent, devious Washington and Albany leadership and a corrupt corporate media that uses news and social to control and mislead, it's important to preserve freedom of speech and to promote a truth-based society for our families. Try something different in 2023. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Take advantage of a huge audience, entertained and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on
Keith.
WYSL, Rochester, New York. Sharpe Way Radio. So happy to have you here. We've been talking about budgets and families and farmers and a little bit of eminent domain with farmers. A lot of farmer stuff this show. But look, people don't realize New York State is a farming state. It's absolutely true. 3 things I talked about that New York does well: finance, farming, innovation. Absolutely what we do well. And we got to get back to that or we are in trouble. I'm grab another call if I could. I'm going to grab Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
I wasn't going to call, but the last caller, a fast bit from those of us on the right. I don't understand the left. They proclaim to love our country, but in doing so, they would kill off our way of life. Bernie Sanders says that if you, probably a corporation, earn anything over $1 billion, above $1 billion, should go to the government. Bernie said slyly that if you, whomever, can't live on $999 million, etc., he doesn't understand that would kill off all incentive, and that's what the left would do. They would have a command economy. They would control everything. I'll give a very fast final example. When a Russian immigrant, an older gentleman, came to our country and went into an American supermarket and saw how all of the aisles were jam-packed with products and everything, he literally sat down in an aisle, all the shelves stocked, and started crying. You better believe they don't have those choices in the former Soviet Union. That's what the Bernie Sanders of the world don't understand. Bernie Sanders would go, tisk, tisk, why do you need 21 brands of toothpaste, by example? You should be able to get along with no more than 3. The left would kill off all incentive and ingenuity. We on the right, we are capitalists. We are proud capitalists. We want capitalism forever. We want everyone to prosper. The left, they are in the power. They want to take away from you. They don't want you to have choice. They want to send that old Russian immigrant back to
let me grab a couple of those things, Keith. You always give me a lot of stuff, and I'm happy that you called. I'm happy you gave me stuff. Let me try to grab a couple of those. The first one, in Roger's defense, he sees, and I understand what he sees, as the left and as Democrats as being 2 separate entities. That's how he sees it. And many people on the left do see it that way. They see a difference between Democrats and leftists. They believe that leftists are actually deeper into cooperatives, deeper into shared voluntary sharing, actually closer in many ways, believe it or not, to anarchists. That's what he says when he means leftists. He means, there's a joke I always say, if you go far enough left, you get your guns back. Because if you go far enough left, they don't want any government, right? They just want local co-ops. Everyone lives in a farm if you go far enough left. So I do think there is a chunk that's what he's talking about. But there's a second piece here that I think is important, Keith, and I think you know where I stand on this one. Yes, there are a lot of people who believe exactly how you believe, 100%. In fact, many of them are in power right now. Many of them are in charge of things like schools right now. You are correct. So what do? Well, option 1 is I jump on one side and run for office and change nothing. Option 2 is what I was telling Craig. I keep doing what I'm doing and I get enough people to get together and talk and recognize that what you're saying is correct. Not that Keith is an evil conservative and they're trying to destroy the world, which about half of our country believes right now. Half our country hears what you say, Keith, and goes, well, he's clearly an evil conservative, so he just wants to kill people. That's what they believe. I need them to know that you're a human being who is trying to do the right thing for the country, and right now they don't see that. Did that at least make sense when I said that?
We on the right, us conservatives, us proud conservatives, we are the people's choice. In closing, because I know you're running out of time, the left love to virtue signal, but in doing so, they would take away all your choices, and they would certainly grab up our guns. They, like you said, the farther you go left, you come around maybe to our side or whatever. I don't understand it. They want to control everything. They think they know better than the rest of us. We want our individuality. We want our liberties and freedoms. We don't need the lefties to tell us how to live. Let them go live their own lives and leave the rest of us alone.
I agree with you completely. Yes, I wish we'd all leave each other alone. I'm on board. Let's leave each other alone completely. I agree. But I'm also another part too here. I said it earlier today. I know some people got upset. But there are certain parts of this state. aspects, not parts, certain aspects of the state, which we're simply not going to change right now. In other words, the state isn't going to go away. The state isn't going to be less oppressive right now. So what are we going to do? Stop the bleeding. I'm trying to stop the bleeding first. If I can just stop the state from punching us, then we can begin to move forward.
4 minutes.
And to do that, I got to be much more localized. I got to get rid of the center controlling everything, Albany and or New York City. And this is why when Roger calls and says, what about local co-ops? What about local banking? I'm like, yes, let's do that. Whatever will get local people to take charge of their lives, I'm in. Because when people start having, and this goes right to your point, Keith, when you have more people taking charge and having ownership of their own lives, whether that's a business or owning a job through a co-op, whether that's starting a business through a banking, localized banking, whether that's an individual who just says, look, I care about my school system. I'm going to show up at my PTA and control my PTA. When individuals start having more ownership in their homes, in their businesses, in their lives, in their communities, they will naturally push back against people trying to control them. But when they surrender, then
3 minutes.
Just take over. That's my word, Keith. Does that make sense at least?
Well, my final one sentence, the left wants to take over, and our young people are being brainwashed. Final statement, the epitaph for our country, 6 words. It all started in the schools. Thank you. Bye.
Ooh. It all started in
He's
the
gone.
schools. It all started in the schools. You know, Keith, I might steal that one from you. That's not bad. It all started, let me think. And you know, Keith, let me see if I might give you some credit for it. I might not. I might just take it and give you absolutely no credit. But I might give you some. That's not bad. I like that. You're making me think. I appreciate that. Yes. Nicholas says the political spectrum is not linear. It's circular. So you can be so far right that you're left and vice versa. I think there's some truth to that, right? The point is not everyone, activists in general who are trying to make big change are trying to be free in some way. Free to do or free from. Either one. They're trying to be free in some way. And in their own logic, they decided. Generally speaking, the more you lean left, the more you want to be free from something. The more you lean right, the more you want to be free to do something. That's a general rule. That's a very broad brush, I know. But if you do go all the way around to freedom, in the end, it comes to don't tread on anyone. And I wish we would just go right there, Nicholas. I think you're right. Go right there. Yes. So, Keith, you have a fan. Valerie writes in, Keith is right. Starts in schools. Reason why I showed up at my school board meeting last week is to see what's going on. And this now goes to my point, Keith. See, we're both right. In this case, Valerie's taking ownership. If people take ownership, home, business, school, job, right? In this case, Roger's 100% right. You should own your own job. Yes. Have ownership in your own labor. Yes. You start doing this, that's when we push back. That's when we begin to win. That's what I'm saying. Guys, did you like what I was saying? I hope you did. Thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio. I will see you all very soon. I will rise.